Yeah.
It's crazy.
Very,
Wow, thank goodness that nobody was hurt or.
I know, yeah, thankfully, it was a miracle, because it was babies, we keep, like in the winter, the lambs just, or the sheep just roam out. And I don't know, get sun, I guess, it's not like they're eating out there, but the
Mhm.
babies we keep in there, it's just too cold for them, and thankfully my mom was able to save them all. But she did join the fire department.
My husband's family were shepherds.
Oh, no way, really, they're loud, people talk about how peaceful sheep are, and like,
Yeah. They like to talk to you.
yeah.
If you own them, you become the most patient person.
It's true,
Yeah.
they're very stubborn too, it's like,
Yes.
I don't know,
Sheep.
our fence is tight sealed and they always find a way out.
Mhm.
And you think you could get them back in, no, you gotta chase them.
They're like huskies.
Very patient.
Yeah.
I'm all week I've been going through Psalms 23, that's one of the teaching at church, and that's what it talks about the characteristics
Yeah,
of sheep,
that's why-
about the shepherd. And
That's why in the scriptures, in most prophets, they have to be shepherds. But
Yeah.
if you can deal with them, then you can
That's
deal with
right.
them.
Yeah, most references like sheep.
Hopefully back in the day, being a shepherd was a very lowly job, very like
Yeah.
looked down upon, now you look at it and it's like. All the virtues of
Yeah,
holiness.
They weren't found upon my husband.
Me either, actually. I was just like,
I
alright,
wasn't the shepherd.
I got my lasso
I
every
was,
time,
I was the sheep.
always.
All of that. Say you're sheep.
No.
Sheep.
As soon as Andrew's in, we'll.
No, really? Okay.
What? Brad, you weren't supposed to hear that.
Do you think the interest rates are gonna go down next week?
Next week,
Think it's gonna go down?
yeah, next week.
Next week, yeah.
Um. Yeah, I think they're gonna be trending down because. You know, even like last week. The car plant shut down in Brampton, those, those things are coming,
Mhm.
and the government knows they're coming, you know, nobody's talking about it, but. The job losses is one of, that's when you gotta keep the economy going, is when people get that fear of losing their job.
Sure.
So, yeah, I think they are, and I think they can as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why we can't lower it.
Yeah.
And I also got 3 or 4 variable rate mortgages. I hope it goes down. So Victoria and I are gonna go through this today. We're talking about the database, which, everything to do with lead generation is, to get started on the database. I've had the privilege of talking to Omar over the last couple of weeks, and I have the privilege of doing it here for some classes. So it's probably a good point in both your careers to hone in on this, probably from 2 different dynamics. An individual agent, and how do you manage it on a team, right? There's always, and then there's Allison. Who again is an individual agent, but has been on the team, so will have some very good input for us. There's a cross between the.
Great cross section, you got everyone in there.
Yeah, so when you think of database, where do you think you're at with it in your careers?
Building.
You're building at the beginning of building it, we're always building it.
Yeah, no, not at the beginning, but definitely it has to grow, to start getting some referral.
Approximately how many do you think you have, Andrew?
I have like 92, that I send regular emails out to and touch base with.
Yeah, what about in total? If you just went up, whatever CRM you use, if you said how many names are right here, what do you think that number would be?
I think it's around 200, I mean, I can
Good.
check if I was on.
Omar?
Yeah, I think I'm around 1,000 now.
Allison?
I have 452.
Allison with 2 L's. Good, so everybody has a starting point. So we're gonna walk through the slides. Leveraging a powerful database. The power of a database, the heart of your business is your database, and the heartbeat of your business is regular contact with your database. So, or if you have 1,000 people, if you do nothing with them. Right, if you start to, if you had 1,000 of them that you talked with all the time. I would guarantee you, you would have no free time to do anything else.
That's true.
When you hear doctors or lawyers selling their practice. What are they really selling? So Allison, you've been at this a while. I have 10,000 names approximately in my database. Sorted with tags and somewhat regularly systematized to have contact with them. Would you give me money for that? Yeah, that's what doctors sell. Like, there's nothing, like, they can't sell their smarts because once they leave, that leaves with them. So the contact database and the relationship you have with them is what people would pay for. So if you went through your young 30 years of that, another young agent would come along and say, hey, I would just love to have that. And actually, I think I've heard of stories where there's young new agents that just run around looking for databases to buy. And I don't blame them. There'd be an easy way to get to a big number. Does anybody see anything wrong with that? I don't mean wrong with that. What would be the hard part about buying somebody's database?
Convincing them to stay with you.
Right, so how do you know how much you would pay for something you have no control over? What you're gonna get back from, is that fair?
That's true.
Anybody have a shot at that?
I'm sure there's some kind of percentages you could look back on. And know what your, fall off numbers would be that are gonna connect with you, stay with you.
But it's the same problem you have with your 200 names. If you don't contact them or stay in touch with them, your drop off rate's gonna be a much higher. So there's 4 laws of building a database. First, you have to build a database. Then you have to feed it every day. Communicate with it in a systematic way, and service all the leads that come your way. So how do we build a database? We're not just in the business of servicing clients, we're in the business of finding clients to serve. Actually, I really liked that when I was reading it today. It's kind of profound, like. We always look for somebody immediate, but we're not intentionally looking for people who we may have something to offer to. And the size of your real estate business over time will be in direct proportion to the size and quality of your database. So if you grew to 10,000, your business is going to be that much bigger. Probably you are not able to look after it yourself. You're, so sure, I'm just going to get into that. So some of the different ways where contacts come from, where are you gonna find these people to put in your database? You probably can read that better than I can, but in reality, it's endless. Just recently, I've started, every time an agent books a showing on one of my listings, I've entered them into my database, identifying them as a realtor, unsubscribing them right away. But if I want to communicate to realtors, I have a path to do it. Right, so you get a new hot listing, you'll often get pages for other people's listing, you can be a little more targeted and personal. Than the emails I get where it's just random, you wanna buy something in the Niagara Escarpment, right? Like, you chose your audience really well.
When you say unsubscribe them, like, is it, what do you mean?
If I were to do my database and send a blast to everybody, I don't really want everybody to get it. If I had a great idea, I really don't want realtors doing my great idea. But that's the idea of sorting your database. It doesn't mean I can't email them. It just means when I do stuff like that, they're not getting it unintentionally.
Okay.
But I intentionally, is anybody public with, I shouldn't say this, but you're able to contact anybody public. They can't tell you not to email. Their information is public. It's personal information that's the problem. If that is in dispute, take it up. But yeah, like when somebody's emails on a billboard,
Yeah.
they're telling you basically to. Haven't mets and mets. So. I know, I've heard this described different ways, face to face or an interaction with somebody, but the haven't mets are the general public. And the mets are actually people you've either texted, emailed, had some form of a conversation with. The types of business mets and haven't mets bring you. So mets bring you repeat business, mets bring you referrals, and haven't mets could bring you referrals. And they could bring you new business.
Dave, could you give us an example of how a Met could be used to do business?
Mets. Well, ideally. Question agents most ask if they think about buying or selling. That's, if. Random shooting stars, somebody says, yeah, I was just thinking about selling, your timing's perfect. That doesn't happen that often. It does happen, but it doesn't happen that often. It won't feed you. Does that answer your question?
I think so.
How large should your database be? What would you like your number to be, Andrew? To sustain your lifestyle?
I don't know, I have no idea actually, what my numbers should be. I did work it out at one point.
There's a formula.
I know, I did work it out at one point.
The math is in.
So there's, yeah.
Forget this in the math.
Remember your number?
But I know there was a sweet spot where I think, is it 300? It's not like the 200. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but they say, well, if you have 200 contacts, like literal contacts, you could make X number of dollars.
$1 million?
Probably, I wouldn't think you could with 200.
Yeah.
But on the business analysis, you work backwards. It would be a very disciplined person to do it, when I read it. So when you know exactly how much you need to make per transaction, how many people you have to talk to get an appointment, and you're working backwards and you get to that $1 million. I'm just not that disciplined. I'd like the $1 million, and I'd like it to come somehow, but to say I gotta go on 65 appointments this week to get 5 listings, it's
Yeah,
it's a pretty well thought out process. I'm not disagreeing that it works.
yeah,
So you know what you wanna make and you work backwards right down to, this is how many conversations I would have to have.
yeah, and I've done that math, I just don't recall
Yeah.
it, don't test the tape.
How large should your database be? So. If you made 10 new contacts. For 200 days of the year, which is almost half of the year. Put them in a database, you'd have 2,000 people. At the end of the year. That's working half time. And 10 doesn't sound like a lot. Right? That's just a very simplistic view of it. How long have you been at it?
Actively, probably like 2 years.
2 years, Omar?
What a database?
Yeah, how long have you been a realtor?
For almost 9 years.
9?
Yeah.
So you should have 18,000 names according to this simple part, right? It's crazy how we don't focus on.
That's true.
So I'm kind of on par,
Sorry,
I'm kind of
You
like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
50%. You 2 years,
Yeah,
200 names, you should have
oh, yeah,
4,000. Kind of on par.
4,000,
You got
no,
200 names. We're saying 2,000 a year.
oh, 2,000 a year,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, no.
we all suck.
I'm a slacker.
Yeah.
That's one of my depression, we all suck at it. And every once in a while, we get crazy and start deleting people. I don't want to. This is on the wall over here, this is you're meant to, how do people relate, how do people get to your inner circle? How do they become, if they do real estate, they're gonna do it with me, which is what the illustration there is. You start with people you've never met, you might run into them, get their name, get something. You always wanna keep moving people to the center so they become your core. The core can never be big enough, but it can be too big for you to handle. But so what, that's like the best problem you could ever have in your life. And 20% of your database can lead to 80% of your business, and I don't know why the word can is in there, because that's likely true of. As many things as I've went to, as many speakers as I've listened to, whether it's 80 or 70, it's always very high. The amount of business that comes from your database. Yeah, we're all like looking for a miracle way to generate business. Build your database, building your next database sources for building it, so. As the other illustration showed. If you guys don't have it. This is one of the illustrations, oh, it was on the sheet, it was on the sheet, sorry, oh, that's okay. There's unlimited. Good girl.
You can find other spot, but.
There's unlimited ways. To build your database. Anybody got a creative thing that they've done recently?
I wouldn't say it's creative, but we have a calendar that we give out for the hockey schedule. We do the J schedule in this other season. And that's just my way of like approaching people like on the street.
Right,
And just initiating a contact,
right. The face to face.
a face to face, yeah. Like I give it, like I just, wherever I am, I'm like. So that's my,
How do they get in your database?
I ask for their information, I give them my card. Yeah. And I just like, you know,
You gave them a card?
I give them a card and I just ask for their information, I put it in right away. Not everyone's so willing, but
I have such a
whoever is, it's in my phone,
So you gave them a schedule,
yeah.
but you may or may not have them in your database.
I won't have, those people I don't, yeah, I use it for door knocking, I use it for just, I'm in a store.
So why don't you change your goal? Why don't you, I am so intentional about this. Why don't you make giving them that handoff a part of you getting them into your database?
I mean, I asked them for that, I asked them for
Right.
their information and
Right, but.
in that scenario, it's not always so willing,
Yeah, but I'm your door knock.
yeah,
Totally. So the exchange might not be high value then. Right?
okay,
So if I said, give me your name, email address and phone number, and I'll give you the Blue Jay schedule, I might think, where else can I get the Blue Jay schedule?
Cool.
Yeah, yeah, right?
I just give it, yeah,
No, I got it, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, the exchange isn't there.
yeah,
I've-
yeah,
Message to market to media. So you're door knocking, you're very targeted. The price maybe shouldn't be the Blue Jay schedule. Maybe it should be what every house on your street sold for in the last 12 months. Right, and I'll email you that, because maybe
Right.
that's worth giving you my email address. I usually say like this. Give me your email address and I'll bug you for the next 12 months with emails you never care about. Of course, you're gonna say no, right? Like, the offer's not good enough.
yeah,
But if I said, oh, your neighbor just sold a house or 2 doors down, you know, or just listed, would you like to know what it sold for, what it is? Just keep changing the offer to something that they would want, and you're more apt to get their contact information. Does that make sense?
it does, it totally does, yeah,
One way we did, I don't know, we did another way, we had a condo project.
Yeah.
But the project is gonna be at a plaza, so we brought in an ice cream truck. So parents with kids.
Yep.
So we had an iPad, so my team had an iPad, so if a parent comes to the child, before we give you the ice cream, you just sign.
Now, how many of those kids wanted an ice cream?
Oh, yeah.
The offer was perfect, right?
way
Like,
to go, yeah,
you just say no, you just say no to your kids.
yeah,
Free ice cream, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
So. What I wanted to, cause Allison's in Bold with us right now, So when I was at Bold Monday. Often it's common, there's 300 people, plus or minus. You know, somebody's cards will be on every table, or somebody, the week before, remember the girl was saying, I want your referrals.
It was the shark.
Sure, that's right.
But candy,
Sorry,
there was candy.
that's right, but the shark, that's what it was.
Shark.
But So the shark left her card on everybody's table. And it said, give me your referrals. Right?
Okay,
When I looked at that, and I think of myself as the lead generator of the team, I thought, I don't think that offer's good enough. Right? Because I'm gonna, even if I took her card after again, as you're right, there was candies. And they were good. It just went into my bag and then, so. I said to Victoria when I come home that day, let's make up something and I'll put it on the table. And what it said was, I want to give you referrals. Right? I didn't ask them for nothing. I want to give you my referrals. And then I gave them a QR code and they put themselves in my database. And I was actually surprised my phone just started dinging. See how different the offer is though? Now, we have the ability, you know, Victoria Poof could make it, we can print it in-house, we can have it, you know. If you had to go to Staples or somewhere, it might take you longer than you have to do that, but the fact is, you have to think about ways. To be different, like, would you like my referrals? Of course, like, it's almost like an offer, who would say no? The trouble with agents isn't that they don't want it, most of them don't even look down at the table to see the card. Right, like it's not on their mind, so next week I said we should use tents. So they stand up and
Can't miss it.
because you're always trying to outthink them. So I would take all your lead generation to a different level. With all, I call them offers. And then when you do that, building your Nets database, it's unlimited to the sources you, like every day when you're out doing something is an opportunity to grow your database. Which is, I jump forward, that's what I mean by feeding it every day, how are you finding names to put in your database? So today, where you have 1,000, at the end of the week, wouldn't it be nice to have 1,010, which seems minuscule, but at the end of the year to have 3,000. Write 10 notes. How do we do that? How do we write? Are we writing notes?
Writing notes
Yeah, we do, how do we do?
for new contacts
Or
or.
for any, how are we, how's our notes?
Yeah, so in our CRM, like what you talk about background and stuff, or you talk about actually directly.
Oh, sorry, no,
Right.
Simply card,
Oh, yeah,
blue big card.
so anytime we are tracking their database, so if they're getting married or engaged, or if there's something. No, if there's loss in the family, then we're doing a handwritten card just to, and mailing it, like giving them a physical copy.
So I would just text Victoria and say, write into Joe, you're having a baby, like they do at the end of the month, we just watch that. But we wanna make sure that we have that touch point.
And something too, like if we have a client or somebody who's in our database who has somebody who has passed away, I'm then setting a reminder for a year to say, hey, we're thinking of you today, so that it's. Like, it's just those planning ahead, so it's seamless that it actually comes.
Expanding your nets. So with phone calls and visits, school, church, neighbors, open houses. When you're door knocking, are you going at the same area all the time?
no,
Oh, you're not trying to establish an area.
no, cause I often do it like with open houses, I'll do where that open house is gonna be, I'll do that.
Oh, so you circle prospect.
Yeah, yes, yeah,
Yeah, you target, if there's something going
Yeah.
on there, you're gonna do 100 doors before you're. Right there.
yeah,
For sale by owners, everybody bold enough to make that part of their business? No.
not yet.
I find that look interesting. To me, they already said you don't like agents, but yet I see the logic in it, they're all fresh. 2 years ago, they were heroes, they could sell their own house, no problem, but now they're probably haven't got a clue what prices high. We're not allowed to do expired listings. Does anybody have a good agent to agent? Business, you probably, maybe not agent to agent, agent to sales centers, right? You must have good relationships, yes, with them. Omar does a lot of pre-construction,
Okay.
so that. As a realtor, he has to engage perhaps non-realtors, but whoever the sales staff is for that building.
The builders, too, so, and
And there has to be an element of trust there because he's taking a client to somebody who would just like to take them, right? Like, so. everything has its difficulties, but that would be one of the difficulties.
But usually you find the villagers, emails to your clients. And then they tell you, so someone like, oh, so why is it going to send me emails to my client, right? But
So our policy is, if they're already in our database, don't come and claim them, and even though they could be his client. But the fact that he didn't introduce them to our property is how we just say, so now we don't care, everybody wants to sell,
yeah,
anybody that can bring one.
it's not even if you introduce, they still keep them in the database. So they send out emails and the clients, someone like, oh, I got an email from the builder saying that, so it's like, oh. Okay, things have changed.
So the important thing is you have to out communicate them, you have to be in their head, right?
Yeah.
What to feed your database, so this is what I was referring to with your offer, their name, their home address. Their home phone number, their email address, and their business card. They may or may not have a business card. But what good is a name? You met Omar. And we leave here today, so what, you met Omar? There's nothing you can do with that, is that fair?
Mhm.
If you had his home address, what could I do with his home address?
Do CMA.
I could send it one, I just meant as far as reaching out to him,
Oh,
I can now mail him something. If I have his phone number, I can call him. If I have his email address, I can email him. If I have his email and not his phone number, I can email him asking him to, if I can text him something. You always want to be completing a contact, so you can do all three. I always want to be able to call or text. I want to be able to email, and that's my goal. So if I only have one piece from somebody, when I communicate with that person, I'm always trying to get another piece. For instance, if I was driving on the road and I got a call on one of my listings, I would say, I can email you that package. Cause I want their number.
mhm.
If I got an email, I could say, oh, I text that out. Do you mind giving me your number to text you? And it actually works. It's very. But it's methodical. I want, if I have two, I want the third one. I always want that missing piece. And if I have their email and their phone number, I search Geo Warehouse. I want the home address if I can find it. What to feed your database? So the acronym FORD means family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. If you can run through that with each client, you're going to know enough about them, you can have a more personal conversation. Especially whatever their wants and needs are. So it helps you build your relationships more quickly by gathering that information. And in those conversations, if I know Allison's a realtor, real estate's gonna come up, like. I've always worked in real estate and mortgages, I can't imagine not some walking into a room where somebody asks me about real estate or mortgages. I almost have to go the other way and think, I just wanna eat. What to feed your database, add contacts. There must be something I read on this. When to enter contacts, updating contact information and contact history. So I heard you say you're jumping into command,
Yes,
you're on the team, what do they use?
Buffini.
I didn't know he had this there. I'm familiar with who he is, so they have their own and that's what you're on to. So I'll come back to you, just, and
I use command.
right? So you like it?
I do.
So you have 452 people sorted, you can communicate with them easily. And it's, with
Yeah.
452, it's probably a much more personal.
Yes, everything's labeled, smart plans for almost everybody. I think the only people that actually sometimes I don't on smart plans, some of the. Realtor.ca leads and like cold leads that come in, they're fake names and sometimes
Some of them really,
yeah, well, if they come from, sorry, that's not Realtor.ca. The
Facebook.
boosted ads,
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes those are
Facebook's fun.
junk, so I don't even bother, I used to automatically when somebody. Filtered in, like it was like a trigger, so it automatically put them on, my quarterly call and all these touch 8x8s. And I was like, these people are just, yeah, so I didn't even waste my time with that anymore, so I fine tune it a little bit, but yeah.
and you're entering everybody in command now,
yes.
So you're on a team, how does that work? I know how it works in our team, but how does it work on your team? What do you do with your names?
So we each have our own database.
Right,
And you, it's, I guess, similar to command, like you put them in, you can tag them whichever way, and then we grade them A, B, C, and D. And then you can, you know, put them as a qualified contact.
are
There's
they
different
on
levels.
team drips, or do you set your own touch campaigns up?
Set our own.
So that you don't rely on the team to send out the quarterly newsletter or nothing? You.
No, we do all our emailing out, and it actually sets it up, it tells you daily.
Sorry, you particular or the team does?
In particular, each individual does it themselves, because it pulls from their contact base, who to call, who to email, and who to send notes to.
Right,
Is that what you mean, or?
kind of,
Okay,
the team doesn't do your marketing for you.
no, they. So Linda Knight team does just, they market for all of our properties. But then we do, through Buffini, we also get newsletters and, you know, touch points that we can send out. But we do that ourselves, schedule it ourselves, initiate it,
You're
active.
doing all your own
Take
touches.
care. Yeah, we do all that ourselves, and then we enter it in our own database, and
Your material is the Phoenix material.
that's.
Yeah, when we
component.
started, Royal Page was Buffini, and the big thing then. It was so long ago, was more mail out,
We get mail outs
Yeah.
and we get an email
right?
also that we do.
This says, just, to make sure that every time you know an update that's happening with the contact, to make sure you're putting that in your CRM. So anytime you're having a conversation, say they're saying you're going to Mexico, making note of that in your CRM, and so that next time you talk to them, you can have that personal connection of going, oh, how was your trip? And like having those actual,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I has a 6-month kid, so when I see him over there, that's how's your baby, right? And the more personal it can be, always the deeper the relationship is going to go.
I think that's probably the hardest thing, is like that, to be diligent in putting your information in. With Buffini too, you can call through Buffini, and then at the end of your call, it pops up, enter your notes, and then you can save it in directly.
So we use follow-up bots, if you call through follow-up bots, it's recorded and transcribed. So it's automatically. Yes.
I mean, you could do text, speech to text, but I mean.
Yeah, but you don't have to do nothing.
That, yeah, I think that's beautiful.
It's done. But as a team lead, my job is getting people to do that.
And that is our team's lead, sore point also, is to get the team all to get their information in their own
Because you
databases.
sit there and then you see a name and think, I wonder what happened to that, so you put a note in there, could you update this file? So to train people, is what we use sheep a while ago, it's like herded cats.
So wouldn't that make sense in terms of the app, right? So let's say when you talk to the person, you have the app.
Commands,
Yeah, so if
Command.
you, or any of the CRMs, if you have an app, let's say the moment you talk to the person right away, you can just go in case you don't forget, so I would think,
yeah, that's interesting. Cause it's simplistic,
I don't know.
it's not like that.
So what, I'm just so used to just going into my contacts of my phone and calling. I have to train my brain to go into my Buffini app and do my call. Because I have the same information in my contacts for just my phone as Buffini, so I have to retrain my brain. I'm not there yet. It's not second nature for me just to go on Buffini and call from there, so.
Yeah, I don't know, realtors, I find to be the busiest species on the planet Earth. They don't have time for anything, like, simple note, like you said, after my call, I should grade the app, put a note in there, I just, like, the action sounds so easy, just doesn't happen.
And I think it depends on the role you play, so let's say for instance, like, because I've been with teams before, so if my role is just to make the calls. Right, then I have the time to do that, because my role basically is, okay, calls are coming in or you're making the calls, so. That is what I'm doing, I'm not doing anything else. So in terms of like, so let's say Dave, for example, he has a whole lot of stuff. So it will be I think it will be much easier for him to forget as compared to me if I'm just making the phone
If
call.
that's your soul.
If that's
yeah.
my sole goal, right? So then that, cause I know, okay, my focus is to just hit.
And vice versa, I don't have time for appointments. And I know, if I can be busy generating appointments, It's the people that go on the appointments and do the right things, and so you have opposite problems, right? But in the long run, my goal would be not to go on appointments. My goal would also be to have a bunch of people that would go on them and do the right things, cause then. In one of our own team exercises, I had, I think it was Caleb, make up a $10,000 bill. Like literally looked like, but it was big, cartoonish. Every time I give a lead to an agent, that's what I'm actually feel like I'm giving. That's, they think, well, they don't wanna buy it, or I didn't call them or whatever, but to me, that's that's when you.
That's a different perspective, yeah.
When you don't do nothing with it, that's what it feels like for me. And to them, it's just give me the one who wants to buy today. They all wanna buy it, just not today, right? But,
Mhm.
so it's perspective matter.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess if you only had to do notes, you do them all day long. But again, even Mojo, I think, transcribes them, you don't have to write the note, it'll do it. We just don't wanna take that extra step, like you said, go into the CRM to do it like we're supposed to. Put your database to work, so. We want you to lead generate 3 hours a day. Anybody? 3 hours a day. Oh, back to what you just said. When you were only making calls, you probably easily did this.
yeah, usually I was doing maybe 5, 6 hours a day. But
Totally, I get it.
times.
Like you said, because that's
That's-
all I have to do. However, what if call number 3 said I wanna go see a house?
So, cause then pre-con is a bit different, right, so we do appointments. Right, so it's okay, if you're ready, I have appointments, so I set the appointments.
Right,
I have appointments on this day, so cause I know, okay, this is the time that I can get for the appointment, so
sure.
I set those appointments, so I have control.
She might have 10 appointments one day.
Yes, I can do that.
You're not lead generating that day.
Yes,
The fact, right? If you're a good lead generator, sooner or later you have to stop lead generating. What, which is the whole idea of the team, right? Like, everybody has a function. But the 3 hours a day, wow, that just seems like a commitment.
Yeah.
End of your 3 hours, update your database. That makes sense.
and also, would it make sense that I usually shifts, we try to like with pre-con, we try to push more supplements on the weekends. Because then now with the sales office is opened, so I can schedule 10 people on the weekend, different times. So maybe either 5, well, it's okay, meeting at 11, the other person meeting at 11. And sometimes if it depends on how close you are with the people at the sales office, if you have a lot of community, they can help you out too.
Right.
Or you want to meet. So it all depends on how you.
And also, if I'm a good listener sometimes, that for my way. You cover Pickering, you cover Barry, you cover Kitchener. Yeah, so he's got travel time too.
Yeah.
Like, he don't care where your pre-construction is, yeah, like, if you wanna buy wherever,
I have, right?
yeah. But it also takes up time
Yes.
to go from Barry to Niagara and then over to, yeah. You're probably not gonna do 10
A
appointments.
day right there, traveling.
Who has Allison, systematic marketing plan, she's using smart plans and everything.
Yep.
What do you get from it? What do you think you get from it?
Sometimes. I don't know if I'm getting anything from it, and then I get a client that I don't even know that you can see if people have opened things in Command, which is nice. And you can see if they click on anything, so if you go through contact by contact, you can see that. I don't know, I don't have a lot of time to be, nosying in to see who's looking. But sometimes when I think that they're not reading it, not paying attention, not opening it, I get a random call, text from somebody that's been on these drips. And they are watching, they are reading, and then I'm
One of
getting
our guys.
either a referral or request for.
Some kind of reach out.
Yes, like they're reaching out to me, like they have been, getting the things. But they don't necessarily respond until they need your service.
Yeah,
So you just kind of like keep sending things of value.
I call it feeding.
Yeah, you just keep sending out those things of value and hope that.
This, our CRM tells us who's open,
This is small.
and it even tells you if it like bounced back, so you can check
Yes.
their information.
Yeah.
Tells you, so who opened, who didn't open, unsubscribe report.
Yeah.
You know, all those percentages. I would say about 50% will open it.
Open, that's a
Yeah.
good open rate.
Fantastic.
Is it?
Well,
Okay.
except your number's small.
Right.
So I'm going to assume if you have 200 names in your database. They're very personal. Right, cause you probably know 200 people. If you have 10,000 names,
Right,
you're gonna have a lot less open rate because it's not personal. But likewise, you could have 10,000 names. If you had a tag on there that said farmers. And you wanted to send something out to farmers and you sent it out to 100 farmers, you'd likely have a 90% open rate, right? That's the message from our meeting. Which one did
This
you?
one here.
Yeah, so. Just, you can walk that, show that to them. When we do an email blast, this one's went out to 2,300 pre-construction people.
This is, I think, for the first time home buyer sphere.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the audience was first, yeah, so some of the names we have sorted that have come in through our new builds. As the lead generator, I don't have to say. I need to come up with something to do. How many people opened it? How many people,
How many people opened it?
yeah,
993,
how many people clicked something in it?
67.
Okay, so if I was not working one day. And I wanted to type up an email, I sent it to 2,300 people.
This is all of us.
And most of them will do this, I just wanted to illustrate.
yeah, ours does it too, yeah.
When an agent says they have nothing to do. To me, this is what they should do, they should create something. To engage their audience,
Oh,
see who opens it, now who am I gonna call? I have 67 calls to make, cause they clicked on something, and we even know what that link was, we put it there. So now I actually know what to talk to them about, so. The benefit of having a lot of names, like if you have 1,000 and once you set them up in command. If you said, hey, I'm Omar, I've just switched to Keller Williams. I would encourage you to use links, cause it's always nice to know if they're clicking something in your email. You know, those are the 10 people I should right away call. As opposed to somebody who's never opened an email in their life from you. It makes sense?
yeah.
So on top of this, where it says to communicate with them, in the systematic plan. Monitor that as well. Like, you're about to do a mail-in, like a hard mail-in,
We did one,
it's done.
yes.
We have no way of gauging that, but we also know it goes to past clients, like a close sphere. Cause it's gonna cost. The money. So. The people you have in your database, when you say you haven't met them, you're gonna communicate with them a lot different than people. Andrea's 200 top, right? So. I'm not gonna go too deep into these, but send direct mail, which I assume means Canada Post. Once a month. So you could have a lot of expense in that to people you don't know. Which is actually why you gotta get these people and move them closer to the middle. The Mets. You're gonna touch them 8 times in 8 weeks. Again, I think. In your case, you have an opportunity right now. To treat all 1,000 people as a just met. And touch them 8 times in 8 weeks. Hey, I'm Omar, I just switched to Keller Williams. Hey, I'm Omar, remember me, I was gonna show you the previous one, whatever those touches are. You have the opportunity to get in front of 1,000 people. Pay me money back. Opportunity time. I can't do that right now because most of my people have been communicated with for years. The 33 touch. I think it's broken down soon. These numbers, this sounds astronomical, right? Like, hey, I'm gonna communicate with somebody 33 times a year. Every course you go to now, the number is higher, not lower. It's,
Yeah, I think some of the ones that I've seen are up into like 50 times
Yeah.
plus a year.
exactly.
Yeah.
So our default is, whoa, I'm not bugging somebody that much. But in reality, we should be touching them more, but have better stuff that they're not offending, they're not gonna unsubscribe, just make your content.
There's a breakdown of it.
Let me know what's up there.
I personally don't like generic stuff, like when I go to Commander, some of their stuff is. It's gotta feel like every realtor's giving to them. Victoria became a code master.
I was at a function, I think 2 weeks ago. So I was just walking, and a lady she just called my name. She was like, "You don't remember me?"
I'm sure I do.
I was just looking at her, just like, I get your messages on WhatsApp. So I usually have broadcast list every time. Like, you don't remember me? So I kept looking at her, and I remember I met her like almost 8 years ago.
Oh
I
my
only met her
gosh.
once. But she's like, I always get your messages.
She thought you were sending them personally, just
Yeah,
carrying
she's
it
like,
for
I
her.
always get your messages.
So that's actually one of the beautiful things about that. People do think that.
So actually, I called her yesterday, we had a conversation.
Remember me?
Yeah.
But then, somewhere I learned. When you can get people to take things in their brain to different levels. Things become more clear to them, so. On the touches. Right, simplistic, you gotta do all this. We did Thanksgiving pies, how many touches were involved in that?
Oh, so many. I think we did. I think there was 2 emails, an initial email that was sent out introducing it, and then a follow-up text. Saying, hey, just in case you didn't see our email with a direct link, and then a reminder email and a reminder text. And then those who actually signed up got confirmation email, reminder email, and a reminder text.
Yeah. And. So there was a select people, right, cause obviously we're giving pies away. It's just from going to different classes, one of these classes, maybe not for this topic. But the panel. One guy said, I think it was Andrew. We get 5 touches out of it, made sense to me, like, wow, and then David Murray says, I can't run all over Muskoka giving out pies, they come to me. So we did that, they came here, they came to Aurelia, parking lot in Aurelia, the parking lot in Aurelia, one time, looked like we had a church service going on. Like there was a group of people, so, but all the touches in with that, now I'm thinking. We could have 100 touches in a year with our core. Not because we're trying to bug them, just because every time we try to give them something, that's the amount of communication. I did it before, Andrew just made me look at it from a different perspective. Communicate with it in a systematic way. Consistency, predefined, repeatable, and automatic. Can I ask you a question? So, of your names. How many broad segments, how many different categories of names, like you got past clients?
Yeah.
What would you break down?
Yeah, so I have past clients. I have, oh, what do I call them? It's like the top, like sphere. And I think I have them in, they're not like ABC, but I also have,
Is that a tag now?
yeah.
So you have categories and then you have tags. So for instance, if you dealt with past clients, which is a category, or
Right.
whatever they call it in command. Then you probably have a tag, they were a buyer or a seller.
Yes, so actually that's what I use. It's all tagging.
Okay, everything is there. So there'd be 2 tags maybe.
Well, yeah.
Past client,
some
yeah, you can never
people
find a tag.
have lots of tags.
Right.
Yes,
So the tag buyer, for instance. You don't wanna send the buyer seller stuff. If I'm thinking of selling my home, that could be buying, but I wanna send them home evaluation stuff or staging tips. Right, not that I can set you up on a VIP search, cause you're not there yet. And when you have it broken down like that, and you consistently market to them. You know, I think that's the benefit of systematizing your database. So, your 1,000 people. Some are already bought. Right? Some are maybe still in the pipeline to buy. And others would be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna have a different message for all of them, so don't group them all as one. You'll wanna see unsubscribe, start sending people stuff they don't want.
Mhm.
Do you remember Maggie? She was she was the MCA. She came to work for us for a while when she was down here. I thought she was pretty sharp, that's why we hired her, and it was on a different database. And I think at the time it was 4,000 or 5,000 names, so I had her send out an email blast. And as the computer was thinking, she kept hitting enter.
Yeah.
You know how many unsubscribes I got?
Did they, she sent it like 8 times to.
Yeah, same thing,
Oh.
same thing. Maybe I'm smart, sharp, and stupid, I immediately sent a, oh, I am so sorry. And
Glitch.
the response that I got to my apology blew my mind.
So maybe it wasn't so bad.
It was, but I could just resubscribe. It
Yeah.
was, I unsubscribed, but once I apologized,
I've seen lots of brands do that as a marketing tactic.
yeah,
Oh,
That's
sorry,
what I'm
Instagram,
saying,
you guys
yeah.
sent this,
yeah,
here's 30% off, to make up for it.
Right.
I get it all the time, cause I subscribe to a lot of things. I probably have, yeah.
I mean, 30%.
Oh, yeah, sometimes,
Yeah.
but I don't even look at the first email, it's the second email that I look at being like, oh, what do you mean someone said it is a mistake, and that's what really catches your eye.
Mhm.
Back to Allison.
Yeah.
Command.
Mhm.
How much of this is done for you? And
Um,
you set somebody up on an 8x8 really fast.
Oh, yeah,
So Omar's new, he's got 1,000, he can get them up onto these different campaigns quickly.
yes, it's all templated. And you just have to edit, like, you definitely wanna tweak some of the content, cause it can be very,
Right.
very generic, like we we're saying. But once you've set up the templates for your 8x8 or your 36, whatever it is, and then it's done. And the template's already there, you just, yeah, to modify them.
Right.
Yeah.
And you, initially, you're just setting up your account, so you gotta brand your stuff, like you gotta get everything in there, right, so that they.
And there's so many different things to choose from. I think out of all of the campaigns that they have to choose from in there, the neighborhood nurture is probably, like, gets one of the most open rates out of anything I send. And it is completely automatic. I don't have to do anything other than have, like, I signed them up for that smart plan.
So you were talking about
The geographic.
in their area,
Yes, you have to have either their address, or if you don't even know their exact address, if you know the area that they live in, or the area that they're thinking of purchasing in. You can choose neighborhoods, and it will send them, you can either choose bi-weekly or monthly, and it sends a report. And I get so many clicks on that, and then from there, they can kind of go down the rabbit hole and start looking at listings, and you can see.
and no offense, but it's one of the most inaccurate
Oh, yeah.
evaluations I've
But
ever
people-
seen, and
yeah.
it gets a fantastic
What's
response.
that? Evaluating like the sales.
It's the value of your home.
It's just,
In your
no,
area,
it's not,
so.
it's showing what's on the market, like, it's showing what's on the market currently, it's all.
It'll give you average sale price and that,
Yes,
yeah,
it does.
yeah.
Give you a little bit.
But it's nowhere close because
Average
it's
price,
condos.
average,
Yeah.
yes, the data is skewed,
But the point is, it
Yeah.
works.
it does.
And people,
Yeah.
that's when we have a door knock, give them something they want, because that's, no problem.
Right.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
It's an item of value that people care about, right? Like, I don't know what I would do if somebody handed me a Blue Jays game. Right, like, it's just great, But it probably meant more to the person who made it than it did as far as me, as realtors. A few years ago, I started thinking, all we have as realtors is information. And everybody out there wants that information, not to make some reel on that I fell down the stairs on Facebook. They want your professional, you don't go to your doctor, because if you made funny videos, you probably switch doctors. Well,
Shouldn't have, it's so hard to get doctor.
Yeah.
Especially when it's so hard to find
yeah,
doctor.
Yeah.
that's how I told you. Yeah, fair enough. The 8x8 is a combination of personal visits, phone calls, items of value, and a handwritten note. Now, in this case, the item of value could be what you're talking about easily, because you're not trying to get anything from them, you're trying to give something to them. Make sense?
Yeah.
And handwritten notes, if you're in Graffiti, that, I don't know if he still is, but 15 years ago, all he talked about was personal notes and direct mail.
I'm a big believer in it.
Totally. Communicate with it in a systematic way. Again. This just sums up exactly what I just said. Information, everything on here is you're giving them information. That's relative to what they're in, whether they're buying or selling. You may have to create whatever you send them. And that's where we fall down as agents, because we have to stop and create an email template of something to send to them. And at that point, maybe a lot of people are going over their head, I'm not sure.
I would say that that's where AI is great, like, you can just throw so much into that and have it formulate it. Figure it out. PDF, whatever format you want.
I would even say like utilize Etsy or like subscription, if they're like cost effective, because there's so many resources out there where people are already creating this and just willing to put $1 and you can have this. And then you can even pop that into AI and say, hey, can you make with a tone and have it duplicated but with different subjects, and it's goes
Yeah.
a long way.
Yeah.
You can give that a thought. How did you make this?
Well, you created the content using AI by putting what you wanted to communicate. And then I used Canva and I actually
Made it-
asked ChatGPT to help me come up with a format or even to
Yeah.
suggest templates in Canva that would work for this kind of information, and it suggests everything for you.
Mm-hmm.
So we've exceeded AI there. Because I could have spent 3 days trying to get that document in AI to look like that. Actually, it wouldn't have done it. Cause it's not good at that. If you wanted to do a text email, you'd probably find to do it. But if, you see the difference between with the look of that and a plain text email. So I
Yeah.
made this for you guys, not for general public. I'll take a second to explain. Most people don't know how to start their database, like, they got 50 names or 10 names, and actually they don't even have them in a system, they just say, hey, I know X number of people. So one of the steps we try to train people on, if somebody was new to the team, we said, think about your wedding, who would you invite to your wedding? So most weddings are 200 people. Am I wrong? 150, 200 people.
I'll let you know. Stay tuned.
What do you know, eh?
Nothing, give me a couple years and I'll have a list for you.
Yeah. Look, is that true? If you think, if I have a wedding, I would invite this group of people. And I think enough of them that they would be important in my life to bring them. It's probably fair to think those are the people I would first start to target to build my database, so I can offer them my services, so the people I know the most. Which would be the center circle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then you have to, just knowing that is not enough. Now I have to really think, how am I going to do that? Like what? I gotta find them, I gotta enter them into a system. Then I gotta think, those people know people, right? Like I can't, I'm just coming out from the circle. This is the circle I'm referring to over here.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm trying to engage who they know now, and when you start to, it becomes fun to me, you start to think. How can those people help me know more people, can help me know more people? So then I just had a few ideas, and then I sent it to Victoria, and I sent her just a sketch. So this is just one way you could get people into your database, simple, like, if somebody came to our team, we'd probably say, take this document. Either go away for 2 or 3 days, or sit at a table, but come up with your wedding list, don't just say you're going to. Physically sit down and do it, because if you do that and we're right that you have it, now we think we can help you get business from that. With some of the other stuff. But the reason I put the one on the back is. We all want the 2 basic questions. Are you buying or selling? We have to get that out of our head. We want to give them stuff. It's always gotta be about them. Like, whether it's a Blue Jays calendar or a home evaluation or what your neighbors have, we have to get in the mindset of giving people stuff. They will want to do business with them when you do that. Every agent in the world is asking them, they're thinking of buying or selling. And I might jokingly say it sometimes, but it's not usually part of my vocabulary. But every lead source, you should try to take it to different levels, where you really think, okay. I got 1,000 names, I gotta start segmenting them and communicating. Correct? Any disagree?
No.
That's my idea for it. I think we went through most of that. So when they talk about a 33 touch. It says perhaps should be 14 mailings, letters, cards, emails, or drop offs. This is over a year. 8 times. You have to send them a thank you or thinking of you card. 3 telephone calls, 4 personal observance cards, and 4 holidays. So the easiest one on here is 4 holidays, right? You Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, New Year's, and what's. Guess we can celebrate Labor Day, whatever you want to celebrate, American Thanksgiving. That's the easiest one. The other ones you have to think a little harder about. Is Buffini's laid out for the year, their touch program? You said it, your Sarah, will say, and your call Bob.
Yeah,
Is that right? Yeah.
but it's not related to like a holiday, I won't say.
It'll be something we can do for free.
Mhm.
Yeah, you need to.
I think too that, this is noting the importance of the personal things, so not just. Things pertaining to real estate, but like we even will send out a fall fair schedule where it's like, hey, if you're looking for things to do this fall, here's a list of. Everything that's happening in Simcoe County, and the reaction to that, of people being like, I didn't even think, or it's like all in one spot, and it's like that extra added value of. It's not. You care more than just about their business, is what it shows.
Can you call that up? And we never asked them for that.
I actually do that for my marketing, once a week, every Friday, send out 2 things that are happening locally. Which, I mean, what you're talking about is just leading me to think that I could do that in a print form. And our holiday stuff we
Just show
do,
that. But
yeah,
again. You want to stand out. Everybody could do that. It's easy to do.
This went out in a blast, I believe as well.
Yeah, it did.
yeah.
AI won't do that. AI might give you the content.
And it'll give you all the wrong content.
Yeah.
too. It has wrong
They
data.
have to qualify it, yeah.
But to make it aesthetically pleasing, where it's very appealing, you know,
Yeah.
it's your name that's going on.
Yeah,
So the thing that was cool about this is we didn't just send this in our newsletter, we actually hand wrote on the back of it too, saying, hey, if you love fall as much as we do, we hope that you'll find this useful, enjoy your fall, we're thinking of you. And it's like just that extra personal step, and we actually recently found out a way to make your handwriting into a font on Canva. So we are able now to print our envelopes, and it looks like Alicia's handwriting, but I typed it all out and it's easy, and it's
Yeah.
just like systematizing things. May take an extra
I'm
moment,
low key, like,
yeah, It takes extra
That
time on the
groundwork.
first step, but then
Yeah.
it saves you so much time when you're repeating it over and over.
And it's a
Yeah.
whole different conversation. Doctors make $300,000 or $500,000 a year, they go to school for 10 years, and they, you know, we wanna make that kind of money. And we wanna make it by just talking with buyers and sellers. And it's just, to me, it's like preposterous. You have to work on your business so hard to turn it into that kind of dollar value.
Mhm.
It's not, hey, I just did a buyer. To me, writing a contract is one of the easiest things we do in real estate. I could be in my truck, call Victoria or Alicia and just say, hey, go in and write this offer for this list. Like, you know, it's 7 sheets of paper. It's not the core of what we do. Becoming the expert in people's eyes is what you wanna do.
Mhm.
Be consistent, be personal, and be long time, be long term. I think what you just was alluding to, it's very hard to be consistent. You just mentioned to me, you have somebody that took over your social media, right? One small aspect, you offloaded. Now, I would be lost too, it's just not me. And then when I do be told to do it, I guess I do it wrong. That stuff I sent you from Bold, that was, should have been on a personal, or should have been on our business,
Oh.
should have been personal, like,
Right.
I don't know. You know.
But people loved it.
Yeah, that's right.
Had a good response.
But Amanda says, why do you touch that? Like, you don't know nothing. I know.
Yeah.
But that should give you more free time, right?
Yeah,
Um,
just the anxiety is gone is bonus.
I also, this is my personal opinion, I also think in real estate, there's so many companies want to come and take stuff off our plate. That we become removed from it, so we don't actually know what the heck's going on. But they're doing the same thing for 1,000 agents, so I'm not unique. And they do generic stuff, which is what Command does. Okay, so what? You know, I don't, you know, I don't think it's that hard to make yourself stand there.
Yeah, I think, like I see that now too, like when I started, like before you could see that this person has expertise in this, but now if I go on Instagram, it's like, it's the same thing.
That's right.
Different agent, but it's like, you know.
And as your realtor, I don't get any private stuff, I get realtor stuff.
Yeah,
Like, okay, I get it, you make funny videos, right? I just, I don't think the purpose is to. I could be wrong.
There's a quote on this page here that I really like, and I think it kind of tie in. It's the mistake that a lot of people do is they do one mailing or one social media post and they sit back and wait for the phone to ring off the hook. And you know that that's not gonna happen, so it's, you can dangle a carrot in front of someone, but it's like, how do you even get them to bite? It's like, you have to then say, oh, hey, and I think we've done this in the past, did you get our newsletter, or did you get this? And then create a conversation that could lead into something else. It's a touch off of a touch.
Yeah,
there's a saying that, I know when we're young, people used to say, oh, you can take the horse to the riverside, but you can't force it to drink. And my old people say, no, when you give it salt, and they will drink the bottom.
that is good.
Another,
Well put.
another way to end that is, if you lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink, and the coach would say, find a thirsty horse.
Make them thirsty. Yeah. Although I will say, like with the marketing and all that, like I have somebody else do that. You know, I think I'm not talented, so I keep an eye on it. I don't just say you have full ability to post whatever you want. Like I make sure what I would want. But you know, with teams, like if you have so many deals or transactions, or you have to delegate. Like I think I'm a big believer in delegating, but keeping an eye on.
A thought that came to mind when you said, I'm not talented at it, but I know what I want. And I have the people that can know what, like when I say it to her, I think she knows the expectation I'm looking for.
Yeah,
And that's important, so when you start letting other people do your stuff, you need to have an expectation of that's what I want it to look like.
so that, yeah, and that's what I do, like with this person that helps me, like I make sure like
Yeah.
everything is vetted, like I look at everything and.
That's right.
You know, and as we were building our relationship, she gets to know how I like
That's right.
things.
It needs to feel.
Foster that through.
Not somebody else.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Establish a personal presence. So, you know, your 1,000 people should know who you are, and every once in a while, it should be face to face. With as many as possible. Yeah. If you email too much, I assume this is what it's saying here, you're gonna get perceived as spam. The most value add for the recipient is possible, this is, I call it offers, make sure what you're giving to them matches what they would
Mhm.
want. Nobody minds getting something that's relevant to. You just need to know enough about your client. You can even hone in on it, hi Dad. You can even hone in on it one for one. If. Well, for instance, almost 6-month-old baby, I can actually send him a pretty personal email, right? Victoria, I can tell her all about sheep. Right, but I don't know enough about you, but if I did, I could make it very personal to you, where there'd be absolutely no way what I sent you would be offensive. You might chuckle, you might laugh.
One of the lawyers, I had a lawyer that did that too, but I mean, at the end of the year, he just sent me a gift card. So I used to give him a lot of gifts with pre-con, so yeah, I didn't expect it, this got in the mail and then, yeah, I think it was $100 $50 gift card.
How many referrals?
A lot.
Yeah, that's what I mean, that sounds like it's cheap for him.
Yeah, it was, yeah, 'cause there was a lot
He
of-
should be paying for one of your
Yeah.
sponsor nights, right? Like
Yeah.
that's, we have a lawyer, we have a lot of referrals. We don't ask for enough, to me, my conversation with him is, when I ask you a legal question, answer it. Don't ever ask me about money,
Yeah.
you know, if I need an opinion, you just take the call, and they do. But if we were holding a customer appreciation night, or even a first time homebuyer seminar, we would, hey, you should, if we were to do that. Pony up for the money. Microsoft Outlook. There you know what that is. Isn't it?
I feel like everything's kind of switched over to Google, yeah.
You never even hear the word Microsoft anymore. Well, you're on Brian Buffini, you're on Command, you're not on Microsoft Outlook. Yeah, I hate it when it actually pops up on my screen, I'm trying to open Microsoft, no. We've covered that. I don't have enough leads to bother with the contact management system, well, you both do, so that's gonna be on. Truth, most agents in the growth phase of their career are managing 20 to 80 leads at a time. With just 20, it's difficult to keep contact information up to date, as well as scheduling and completing your other lead generations activities. Implementing touch programs without an automated system becomes virtually impossible. That's right. So if you shrunk your database to 20, you're probably gonna be able to do all aspects of it very, very well. I would think if it was an agent on my team and they were literally working 80 leads, I know that they would have no free time to do it. It's just not possible. Actually, the number I've heard is 15. If you have 15 active leads, you're busy. But busy servicing them, like not just waiting for them to call you. The key to it, use it, take baby steps and listen to it. So listen to it would mean what we were showing you, when you do something, when you communicate with them. Hold it accountable to what's the response, they either opened it or they didn't. You were faster than that. What about unresponsive contacts? Put them only on the 12 direct plan, and put them on an email only plan. To me, they would go on an email only plan, because I'm probably not gonna spend $25 sending them stuff if they don't want to communicate. Make sense? And you have to kind of send it when Canada Post is working.
Yeah,
That's, yeah,
Yeah, totally.
that was our problem, is we were gonna send out our email or our newsletter, I was on vacation, and when I came back, there was a strike, so it's like, you have to. Sometimes that even,
my Popeyes increased.
but I
Which is
think,
probably a good thing.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's still like, we could have just not sent our newsletter, but I think it's important. one, just even when there's like wrenches thrown in to be consistent, but it shows that like. That like you're still there, and you're still even if it's late, right?
If somebody opts out, obviously, you're supposed to stop communicating with them. My interpretation is, that's for spam, you still have the right to communicate with them, you just can't be part of a mass email to them. Yeah, but that doesn't mean you can't mail them a, hey, I'm thinking of your card, it doesn't, unless they're totally written off. It just means, hey, I'm busy at work, you just sent you an email, actually, I don't unsubscribe anymore, I filter them, just say, mark them automatically as read. I don't wanna offend them, but it's just not important to me enough. I actually have a mortgage license, so the banks are always, every day saying, that's what, I just don't need. Be courteous always, service needs to come your way. Get on the fast track, love this, another acronym. Put them in the funnel, assign them, get the source to them and track them. Funneling leads. On that page we gave you. That's what the arrows are at the top where it says get them. You could have 10 or 20 of those arrows. What are your lead sources? That are bringing in the leads? And. Not just where are they coming from, because if you had 20 good lead sources. And they were all actively working, you would be busy just entering them into your database. Right?
Mhm.
You all of a sudden become a data input person, so you need automated ways, and Command is good at that, I'm sure Brian Graffiti is as well. You need automated ways, it's easiest, like this, I give you referrals, those agents put themselves in my database. So I didn't have to do nothing. But I could do 50 of these in a day, but if I had to enter those 10 names and take some calls in between and, you know, whatever else you get in a day. You days would be a twice job. It's too true, funny but true. And those sources that you're getting leads. Shouldn't be, hey, I found 10 names in the Yellow pages, right? Like your sources, you need high quality stuff. The busier you get, you don't have time for the stuff that's just wasting your time. You should know whether your leads are being followed up with. Biggest reason people don't succeed is lack of follow up. Track conversion rates. And whoever's giving you referrals, they say reward them. That's what your lawyer did. One of the best phrases I ever heard is treat the referred better than the referral. So if an agent from Toronto gave you a lead, and communicate them. Thank you for the referral. Oh, by the way, next week, I'm gonna be talking with them, and the next week, hey, I had a meeting with them. It sounds, but they say, reward what you want repeated, so. If they're giving, sorry,
I found a lot of agents.
no, none of them.
I remember, because when I used to do pre-con, like, I used to refer a lot of resale to agents. I found that, it used to bother me, like, buddy, I just gave you.
Like you wouldn't hear any response back, like thank you, or just, oh, I got it, or anything.
Was either. So maybe closing. Then I'll hear maybe something from the client. Or sometimes even to get paid, the 25%, whatever. It will take 3 weeks. Right, I'll call the agent, okay, what happened? Oh, you didn't get paid? Okay, buddy. You got paid, but you didn't think about me, right? So I found a lot of agents, I don't know why, but. Let's see the importance of that.
Be grateful that that's our
Yeah,
competition,
it's
just
perfect.
think of it that way, if that's our competition, that's a blessing, cause they suck. But even offers, you know how many people will just email you an offer, you have no idea it's coming, you have no idea. And you think that's how you just represented your client.
I think that's a lot of training though, because I didn't know that, like, and then I would get like, oh, a heads up, I'm gonna send you an offer, or even an email saying that with a little maybe summary or, you know, and I thought, oh, like, that's so nice. But it's really just good business and,
Totally.
but I didn't know that. I didn't know, give a heads up for, like,
Yeah.
I'm a polite, well-mannered person, but that didn't occur to me.
Imagine if the guy was busy and he didn't see your offer,
That's true.
and you cost them the opportunity to own the property of their dreams. Like, that's what I mean about the offer side of it.
I was trained to do that stuff, like, I didn't get to knock. I know that.
Yeah, I found it, we had a listing this sometime this summer, and then one of the agents. I don't know, I just got an email or a message from my office that this agent said to contact him, like, why? I have to contact him, but the one that actually bought, he contacted me, we had a conversation, he's like, oh, you know what? So we got to know each other and everything, and that's how he got to buy the property, but the other agent, I'm like, I don't know you, why should I contact you? And there's no point, like, there's why, like, I listed it, so you're the one looking to buy, you should be able to contact me, right? And my number's right there, it's not like it's.
Yeah, you're not hiding
Yeah,
it.
but the other guy, he contacted me, he's like, you know what, I just wanna know more about the property, like, why is your client selling? All that kind of stuff, and I was like, yeah, this is the reasons, like, so we always had that communication, and yeah, and it went out it was one of the easiest transaction.
2 points. On that note, do you know how many agents you can't find a contact number for?
Like a direct contact? Yeah, way too many.
Walmart,
Drives me nuts.
I can't call Walmart,
But
that's crazy to me, that's not our industry, but. They're saying changes the way you look at things and the things you look at.
It is.
Right? If somebody called you. No, you don't know this person.
Yeah,
Somebody calls you and says, I live at 123 King Street. And the house right beside me sold, would you send me the information on that? Right? That's the
Okay.
scenario.
yeah,
Would you? It's not a trick question.
I would, but I
Of course,
mean,
Of course you would, that's a.
you'll get more information from them.
Of course, but would you, a whole bunch of stuff not go off in my head?
Yes.
You would
yes.
just never let that die, send it to them and walk away and forget it, right?
Yeah.
You have all these, hey, this guy would be selling, why do you wanna know? You know.
Where else can I help you?
Yeah, or how can I get that, like, you know, you got. Just. Automatically, that's all you're thinking, I know when you're trying to buy something for somebody, it should be the same, like I want. First thing I would do, pick up the phone and get hold of the agent, cause I want to report with them. Andrea, you got a beautiful bungalow there, you know, my client's quite interested in it, I'm hopefully gonna get you an offer. You and I are already chill,
Yeah,
right, like,
Yeah.
um.
And
You
if
know,
anything goes wrong, even with the document, because you have that relationship, the agent will say, oh, there's a mistake here, like, why don't you? I feel like that report really helps.
if you've got two
I believe it.
identical offers. And you and I had a conversation, you would like to choose me,
sure,
just think of it like that, like,
yeah,
you want that report, I don't want, when. Omar just said, somebody called and said, why are people selling, that's a very tough question, right? It's none of your business, but he has a report. He's gonna gauge what he tells them, like, you know, he can't obviously disclose too much. I usually try to be humorous, say, when you own something, that's one of the rights you have is to sell it. Right, like. And
I think you can gauge though too from the agent that is asking that question. Where if they're looking for angles or, you know, how much you're gonna speak to
But
them.
to go to the other side of the table, that's a good agent,
Yeah,
right? I represent a buyer, I wanna know as much
yeah,
as I can.
yeah, you don't fault them, but it's, yeah. I just didn't know it was like common practice and should be.
Fair enough, yeah.
No, I just look at like human relations, right? Because like it's just people do from my background, like pre-con, like, cause sometimes if I'm never spoken to before, right? So it's all about that relationship, right? Cause the person you can catch them in a bad day,
Mhm.
right? I had a client that was on my WhatsApp for almost 3 years. And then one time he just messaged me about 5 condos,
Wow,
5 condos within a period of 2 years. And I had him in 3 years, like for 3 years of my podcast, I never knew it. And one time he just comes up, I see you always doing this and that, you know what, I want to do business with you. We got 5 condos.
yeah, that's fantastic,
It's just a relationship. I think.
yeah.
I always tell people, in real estate, you're negotiating with everybody, not just the buyer and the seller. You gotta negotiate with your, say it's a buyer. They're gonna lie to you. I will only pay this much money and not a penny more.
Mhm.
You have to kind of understand that procedure. They're gonna tell you they're pre-qualified for 9 million and then you gotta negotiate with the other agent. Right? You gotta now be able to present your case to him in the best possible way, especially if they're overpriced. You gotta, without offending them, start telling them, you know, here's the comps, this is what I found, why is yours, right? But you also have to communicate to that agent in a way that he can go back, you're communicating to that seller through him. So if you say the wrong, you tell me your house is overpriced, right? Some agents will call you and say, is this your price or the seller's price?
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Cause they wanna know,
What's going on?
yeah, cause most agents will pay for it. Oh, they wanted the price at 100 grand over. Anyways. You're negotiating with everybody, you're probably learning that fast.
Yeah.
Unity and marketing, signs, flyers, ads, direct mail pieces, promotional items, business cards, letters and email signatures and websites. And you're probably gonna boil this down to a couple that you do well. Right, like you're, whatever it is, you're gonna. It's gonna become an integral part of your business. Does anybody use them all? And so I assume you have a team website?
Yeah, we have everything there.
Yeah. Service all the leads that come your way. When?
Right away.
Speed the lead, right? Again, as a team leader, that's one of my pet peeves is. You send the lead off and then it becomes their timeline to the agent, which is, you know, you just want them to do, just make contact, you don't have to stop with your supper. Just reply to them.
That's 100% not acceptable in our team. You get a lead, you're on it.
Sure.
And if you don't respond
It goes back and.
quickly, it goes to the next.
Well, when you have one agent, that's tough.
Yes.
Is it good?
Darn it.
Assigning leads. New leads to the proper group in your database, new leads to the appropriate marketing plan. Now, that's how I thought I'd been able to assign them to your agents. But yes, you wanna make sure you get them systematized and categorized and. There's many different ways you can assign a lead. Oof, we were talking about tags earlier, that's what you'll get into, is that called tags in your system?
Yeah,
What do you label a buyer, is it called a?
I mean, I don't know if they call them, what they call them, but it's tags, yeah. It's that system.
Most systems just have two, columns there. Sourcing leads. How many deals have you done over your 2 years? If there's actually, that's not fair, so. You getting referrals from those? So you've got, not yet, eh?
Not yet.
Do you think they liked you?
Yeah, because I stayed in touch with them and it's been a nice relationship, like,
Totally.
Yeah.
You're a wonderful person.
thank you. Yeah,
Why do you think you're not getting referrals from them? Those people who know you, dealt with you, they probably have the highest opinion of you for your real estate.
I think some of them, like my early deals that I've done with people, I didn't keep up with kind of promoting and saying, you know, if you think of something, like, please refer me, like, just being more direct. Just getting the chutzpah to really.
So I
stand
know a
up.
little bit about Brian Buffini, what's his tagline?
Yeah, God, don't put me on the spot for that.
Oh, no, so Brian Buffini's tagline is, oh, by the way.
Oh, by the
I'm
way,
never
yes.
Too busy for your
Yeah,
referrals,
yeah.
that used to be at the bottom of my email signature. Do you know how many people would say, oh yeah, I stole your referral, I mean, what are you talking about? It's just an embedded command.
Yeah,
I would suggest you're probably not asking.
well, I wasn't in the beginning, so now when people say, you know, thank you for something, then I say, you know what? Big, yeah, that's my way in for doing it.
You got any agent referrals from other teams, you go to SCORE, well, maybe not a referral, but you teamed up with a girl from SCORE to do some social media marketing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so you're networking with other agents.
definitely built relationships, yeah.
Sure, Sign calls, how do your signs work in your team?
Like for.
Are they individual or are they all Linda?
Linda Knight, yeah.
They're all team
You can
signs.
have open house signs with your name on it.
Right, but they're all the
Yeah.
for sale signs, so all the calls there go. to
Yeah,
the
everything's
office,
branded Linda Knight,
And they get
yeah.
pushed back to you, call, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get sign calls. Open houses, your farm area. For sale by owners. IVR's interactive voice recordings, I don't see that much in our area. Used to be like a Craig Park, there was a coach and it was kind of the thing, you dial this number and auto recording would come on telling you about the house. Website, magazine, newspaper. Have you read any newspaper?
No, we use QR codes though,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Successful,
newspaper, and
successfully,
I don't know how it's being tracked actually.
yeah, well, someone uses a QR code, usually you got their cell number right off the bat. That's how they,
But I have a question, so the QR code, is this just some number you can get an email to?
well, you can have it do whatever you want, but usually they end up somewhere.
Yeah, we use them for a bunch of our different offers or, you have
Very
them
phone?
sometimes too, so when you scan it, it'll go to our website or something that has a lead capture on it, so that you know.
To the
It's already
house.
in my system, so I'm not.
Yeah. Yes,
Was. So. Again, when I had this idea, shared it with Victoria, Victoria built a landing page. You go to the bottom. That form, they go right into my data, so that's the QR code. The one,
Nice.
as Andrea's talking about, if you had a QR code somewhere, I don't know where they put them. They may end up on that listing page.
the reason I'm asking, so for instance, for the, with the ice cream.
I'll let you-
Yeah. With the ice cream truck example, right, so let's say if I wanted to do that again, maybe during the summer for barbecue or whatever, right? I'm gonna keep it, I'm thinking it's easier rather than like someone putting the information, I'm just trying to see, okay, if I'm looking for phone number and email.
It's actually the same thing.
So but they would have to just
Yeah,
input that themselves.
yeah, either way, they're gonna do the same thing.
And how would I know they've done it?
Well, the difference is. I want them into my database. The information's after they're in my database, okay? When you talk about ice cream, you can have them end up on a landing page. Give them all the information, and then if they want to sign up, right? It's just how many steps you want in there. So my way I look at things is, what is the goal? Right? And then I tie the marketing to the goal. So do you want their names?
Mhm.
Do you want it after they get the ice cream or before?
Big four.
Exactly, right? So they need to end up on a form, wherever they get there, give you their information, and then receive the coupon or whatever for the ice cream.
So I'll get.
Scatterbush does it. If you want the Scatterbush, the 10% off your first order, you have to show them the app that you're registered, and then you get that, they write that, you know, maybe.
I've even seen like things like at church where they're giving away something, so I think it was like the mugs that they were giving away, they put a QR code up on the screen. And had everybody sign it, same thing, they were able to get everybody's contact information, and then they showed the confirmation, like you said, it would redirect, there's a confirmation, and that's what you show. So it's not like you have their information, it doesn't matter if they have the confirmation or not, but you, by saying that's what your ticket is, people are gonna do it, because.
I guess it improves accuracy of, or legitimate information.
They could still give, well, if they get a coupon for the ice cream, yeah, if they put the wrong information, they wouldn't get the coupon.
With the ice cream, I can just get a couple of people to like, okay, confirm, just make sure they
Totally,
sign before them, yeah, get the ice cream.
yeah,
Yeah,
Cause then we did that, right, one of the projects was this brokerage from Markham, this Chinese guy, they did that, so I saw, like, oh, this is very cool. But then you have to sort of like, oh, let's see if you.
Yeah, totally.
them, and then you go to the ice cream.
Yeah.
the reality is, they won't wanna give you the right information, they don't wanna give you the right information.
Yeah, they would have, but at least,
What purpose would it be to have somebody's right information if they never want you to talk to them? Like,
yeah,
that, it's a little off topic, but So with Buffini, you can also have, for your open houses where, you enter the information and it automatically puts it in your database and they get a confirmation email and, reach out, if you want more information, connect with me kind of thing, so. I'm all about like that kind of getting the information put in that way.
I think too, like, there's a note on here, that when you're doing these things, make sure you're applying those tags, or you're sourcing that, so that you can track the success of what you're doing, yeah.
Right.
You can post an ice cream event like that. But if you don't know the return on like, if you're not tracking it, then there's no point.
Like if you have 1,000 in your database and you set up one of those web forms and it automatically puts a tag on there that says Pickering ice cream. And you, all of a sudden you can research that text, hey, I got 125, I wanna do that twice next year. Right, or if you get none. So I said I'm trying to enter agent names as people, we interact with agents, so I had to try to make me a form where. I just put the name and email address in, all these other tags and everything, because I only use that form for realtors.
Yeah, everything else is auto-populated in the CRMs, but it's, all you have to do is name, because that's where you go to, that's the source.
And actually, what I do is I actually take a picture of a ChatGPT. In a command that I have, it automatically takes it so I can copy and paste it, so I want it to be quick, because often you're driving. Apparently that's frowned upon.
Only if you get caught.
Yeah.
I don't know, she's an agent, yeah. Excellent driving. It's a risk you have to take, so.
Tracking leads, lead follow-up, leads per source. A ratio of leads to closed business, and you can calculate back from that to how much money I want to make in a year. What is your goal?
To make,
Yeah.
or I'm like 100 to 150,000.
Well, I already know your goal.
Is it? Just joking.
It's more than yours.
Yes, I bet, well, yeah.
Final thoughts, build a database, feed it every day, communicate with it in a systematic way, and service all leads that come your way. I would say. Sometimes we just look at things the wrong way. I think we're so busy looking for a buyer and seller that we don't think of it as just building our database. And I think we can have all these thoughts individually. I think every day we can consider, hey, I need to build my database. You don't sell a house every day. Most agents will say, I sell 5 or 10 houses. Well, you have a lot of free time in a year, if you ask me, right? But don't tell me you're busy every day, because I know how long it takes to sell 5 or 10 houses in a day. If that other time is intentionally spent building your database, intentionally, like, how do I get those 10 names? 200 days a year to end up with 2,000. Because all the other steps, systematizing it, if you don't have any, there's nothing to systematize. If you have a big database, you're probably gonna be able to get leverage to help systematize it much faster. And we ran out of pages. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I hope it was helpful.
Yeah, I have a question, so this is for projects. With the projects you have?
Yeah.
So,
With Robert, are you?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, so, I know it's more like a resale, right? Or it's not pre-con, is it pre-con?
Well, Pre-con hasn't started yet. It's inventory homes for a pre-construction builder.
Yeah, so now my question is, 'cause I know there's a whole lot of issues with the appraisals. Right, so like, do you have condition for appraisal or like, cause I know some clients probably like, oh, we wanna make sure that
We have 7 days finance.
send, okay, so.
So my average is the seller. That's a buyer, so in that 7 days, they should go get it. But to answer your question more specifically, most of what we sold has been at much higher prices. Appraisals, like, building prices have come down, appraisal is not the issue, because the comps that they're using are higher.
This is some of these lenders are crazy, right? So it's just like, just trying to like.
We have not had
Okay,
an appraisal issue, but we also, most of our sales, the bulk of them, so the ones we have is because we only had a few lots left through the winter, he just kept his guys busy. That's why there's inventory homes. We have nothing else to start.
Okay.
So, and nor do we think we're starting anything. So they're more like just inventory to pose it at,
Okay.
but the one is. $80,000 less than when we sold most of them at, so. And then they all qualify the first time home buyers too. So that's another 5%, it's 30 or 40 grand off of purchase price, but we can't advertise that. Right, because it's